Connecting. All right, guys, we're back for another live episode of Muscle Discord with my man Phil Clahar. He's back on the show. Got Ron Harris. What's up, brothers? How you doing?
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Doing good.
The first live of 2025. I thought about that before I came on. I was like, what? Kind of rhymes a little bit. But yeah, it's there's lots to talk about. There's lots to talk about going into this season. The official season actually starts with the Arnold Classic, Ohio. We all know that. It's the first kind of big show of the year. And what a show it's going to be. All right, I'm just share my screen here while we talk about this. It's gonna be a tough one to. Well, we'll see. It's gonna be a tough one to call or not. But let me just share this here with you guys so you know what I'm looking at. And I'm gonna move this over to there, and then we'll go the other side. Now let's go here. All right. Anyways, move this over there. There we go. Okay. So we got a lot of good competitors in this lineup, and first off, who do you think is going to win this show? This is jump right into it. Who's going to win the show? Is it going to be Samson? Everyone thinks Samson's going to win.
Yeah. Come on now.
Yeah.
Pretty much think it's Samson. I think that's the consensus across. Let me just move this over.
Yeah, he's looking really, really gnarly.
He's looking really, really gnarly. That's a true assessment of how he's looking. He's looking very vascular, lean, putting in the work. And I saw that one post by Behind the Scenes TV or whatever it is, Instagram, saying that Samson is the most active pro on social media. And I kind of agree with that. I think he posts all of his stories when he's training and his workouts, and he's always talking to the camera. He's very vocal. So he's living up to what I think Mr. Olympia should be doing, and being very transparent in everything they're doing, showing his full physique. You don't have to do that, but he is doing it. And so kudos to Samson Dauda for being that transparent bodybuilder, representing the Mr. Olympia and giving us all access to his physique, to his updates, everything. So I'm just going to go to his page here first to take a look at Samson. All right.
Sorry about that.
No problem. So you guys are pretty much thinking it's going to be Samson's show to lose. You don't think, after seeing Derek's updates, and we're going to talk about Derek saying that he's going to win the show. I mean, what else is he going to say? But he thinks he's going to beat this guy. What do you guys think? Jump into it.
Go ahead, Phil.
I mean, that's the attitude he has to have. I think any bodybuilding competitor when they enter a show, not entering to lose, right? And they're definitely not entering to just be a contender. So it's only right that he believes positively that he's going to win. I guess we'll find out. Yeah. I love Derek very much, but from what I'm seeing, which could be, some type of trick, I don't know. But I'm used to seeing him in way better condition. 5 weeks out, 4 weeks out. I don't see that. So we'll see. But that's the attitude he has to have. I think Chris and Cedar probably going to pull some magic. I have no idea.
Yeah. Ron, what do you think of Samson?
I mean, I just did an Arnold preview with Jose, and Jose is privy to updates from Chris Aceto that we're not, that we don't see on social media. According to him, Derek is looking pretty crazy right now, but I still believe Derek would need to be even better than he was in 2023 when he won the Olympia to have a chance at beating Samson. Samson has just gotten better and better with every show and every season consistently. He's tall. He's got the round muscle bellies. It's, even if he's not as shredded as Derek's going to be, the overall package of Samson is it's a lot, man. But I'll tell you this, it would be so exciting for this year's Olympia if Derek beats him at this show, because then we're going to have so much. And then, Hottie, it would set up so much more drama for the Olympia, but I don't know if we're going to see that.
Yeah, good assessment, good breakdown of what's going on with Samson. With Derek, I just don't. As long as Samson comes in looking like this, where the glutes are pretty much there. This is what was this? This is like
That was a couple
5 weeks out, like 5 weeks out, and he's bringing this already. So I just can't see how Derek, being the same size roughly as he was probably at the Olympia, maybe his quads will be a little bit fuller. We'll take a look at Derek. Talking a lot about Samson here. Let's take a look at Derek. And I agreed with Phil's kind of assessment there, where Derek wasn't looking as sharp as he usually looks leading into a show. But it seems like he's getting like this. This photo kind of threw me off when I saw this. I was like, this isn't the Derek we're used to seeing leading into a show. Now it's the terrible Bev Francis lighting where they stand in front of that white wall and it looks terrible. So that could just be terrible lighting that we're seeing here. The side quad looks a little thinner. I don't know the hamstring. I don't know, maybe it's just bad angle, but it's not that dominant side chest that we're used to seeing from Derek. The upper body looks good, but the lower body looks still off. And that was his issue at the Olympia. So what do you guys think?
Go to another update. I think that's just that's a shit.
It could just be
that's a horrible picture.
A terrible update. And then you got, so this is, here, this is probably a little better. Still, I thought this was terrible lighting when I saw this. Yeah. It does wash out his physique, but
it's like taking a picture with the flash. That's
yes.
Getting here. The light is hitting him directly from the front.
Yeah.
It's filling in all the muscle separation.
Yeah, exactly. Good analysis there. That's the best way to explain it there. You don't have the goon lighting from the top where it gets all the cuts and contrasts. You can't see that. That side quad.
I think he's standing up too tall in that side shots. Normally he sinks down. The more you sink down, especially when you're short, I know I have to sink down to get that hamstrings to flare out, but he's standing a little upright on that side shot. I think that's what it is, because I mean I've seen Derek in person. He has big legs, really big legs.
Yes.
So I think it's just the posing.
Well, he's working with Chris Cormier. He's trying to help him with posing, so that's supposed to be a benefit to this, and that's why he's working with Chris. So maybe that's why some of the shots are a little bit different. So we're gonna see if it translates to the stage. But yeah, I just there's no wow factor with Derek. When I look at Samson, I get a little bit of the wow factor from Samson because he's just so dominant. He's so much bigger than the competition. So I have Samson right now as a front runner going into the Arnold Classic as the winner. I think Derek has a sure shot at coming in second. I can't see him winning, but stranger things have happened. It's the Arnold. Sometimes they go for a little bit different look at the Arnold. So we're going to see. We're going to see what happens. Maybe they'll, I think what Chris Aceto's trying to do is bring him in a bit fuller. So that's why he's not having that sharp condition closer to the show like we're used to seeing, which might be good because his legs do flatten out if he goes a little too hard for that conditioning.
Yeah,
which maybe doesn't.
I think you're correct with that. Probably it's a different strategy they're going about it, and probably the last 2 weeks they'll reel it in. But I don't know, man. We'll see.
Like, this was at Bev's gym just last weekend.
That looks better.
He's got the vascularity coming through better here.
Yeah,
quads look pretty. Yeah,
legs are as big as they ever were.
So it's definitely gonna be a battle between the two of them. And we got Andrew Jack coming in, which that's another guy I just don't know. What do you guys think about Andrew? Where do you think he's gonna place? Not officially, but where do you think he's gonna kind of land?
I mean,
in this mix.
Where am I? Third.
Technically, my opinion, if Derek brings what he should bring, I mean, he could land in third place. I mean, he has that wow factor, man. Andrew Jack, I mean, just seeing him stand there, your eyes always draw to Andrew when he's on stage, when he's on. When he's on, that's a different story. But we're yet to see that. Texas, he looked crazy. Nobody stood next to him. Yeah. But standing next to Samson, these are two big boys. Structurally, Andrew has everything he needs to have to possibly win Arnold, but it's just going to be tough to beat Mr. Olympia. Um, Samson truly believes he's going to be better. He made a video. He said that,
Yeah.
and if he's better, if he's better than the Olympia, I just don't see anybody taking him out in the Arnold.
And, I think Samson should get extra credit for being only the second man in 35 years of the Arnold to be a reigning Mr. Olympia and do the Arnold. Ronnie did it 24 years ago, and no one's done it since then.
Yeah.
So obviously the money, $500,000.
Yeah, but you know what? Even with the money, Ron, it's still a risk, and he's willing to take it. And you're right. You got to give him his props because we compete for the love of the sport, and of course, money attract a lot of the top name athletes. But then you got to look at it. At the end of the day, you're Mr. Olympia. You're taking a big risk to do this. And it's going to go on his favor. I truly believe that. But yeah, you definitely got to give him props, man, to step on this Arnold stage after this tremendous win he had in the Olympia to risk a possibility, which I don't think is going to happen, getting beat. But yeah, you got to give it to him, man. This guy's not scared of nobody. He's always coming on stage and doing his thing.
Agreed with that statement. It's good to see the Olympia champion go and do the Arnold and represent again and take that risk. Because if he does lose, shit happens. You get food poisoning, something happens, and you look shit. You like crap on the stage, and you're not peaking properly, which could happen. Then Derek wins, and that kills Samson's momentum going into the Olympia, and then he's got more pressure on him. And so, I just think, it is a huge risk, but I like that Samson's taking that risk. I like that he's competing in a lot of shows, and again representing that title, Mr. Olympia title, like that. And not being afraid to just show up and do the work and like show himself and not stay covered up all season like a lot of these guys do. But this guy, Brandon Curry, I don't know. I think him training in the U.S. at home, I think this is the first time he's done this in a long time. He always goes to Kuwait to train, and he's home. He's home with the family, with the kids. The wife is there to help him, right? So maybe he should have done this a long time ago, because he looks pretty nasty here, and maybe bringing some of his all-time best conditioning. And he seems focused. He seems driven. He's showcasing his physique more on social media. He's not staying as covered up as he usually is. What do you guys think of Brandon? I think Brandon could shock a lot of people in this show. Maybe could Brandon beat Derek Lunsford?
Brandon is man, he's a great guy. I was honored to step on stage with him when he had the little hospital when he was in the hospital. Actually, and came back and still plays very well. Very humble guy. That was actually probably my first time actually speaking to Brandon backstage. I think yes. I think you're right with him being home. Being away from your family, your kids, especially with all the activities his sons are in. They're very good at sports, and leaving a wife home to take care of everything and make sure everybody get to where they need to be. It does carry a lot of stress. I think that he's more relaxed, more composed. I see him at his kids' games while he's in prep. He's very active on social media when he's heading to the gym and stuff like that. So I think this is going to help him to be more relaxed physically and mentally. And I think that he will definitely bring a damn good package. I got to root for him. The older guys got to root for him. But beating Derek, that's a tough ask. I think he's great. I think he'll place well, but this show is pretty stacked. So no, I don't believe he will beat Derek, but he's going to do very well. He does look much better condition wise than he normally do. So I think he'll do well. Where he's going to place, honestly, I don't even know.
Do you have him in the top 5? Ron, where do you have him?
Well, I think he's definitely in the top 5. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that he was Mr. Olympia. He's won the Arnold twice. Yeah. It's not like he's got torn muscles or, atrophied legs or anything like that. He's still at the top of his game. I mean, the guy was in the ER and he comes back the next day and still plays 4th at the Olympia. It was 2 years ago, I think, right?
Yeah.
These updates, there was one where he starts with the shirt off and then eventually shows the legs. His glutes were in it like 5 weeks out.
Yeah.
one thing I'm happy to see this about that is there was this whole mythology about Kuwait being this magical place, and you had to go leave your family behind because they were a distraction. And, you know, as a we're all family men. That really bothered me. Like, your kids are going to like ruin your physique or something if you're around your wife and your kids. So the fact that he's looking this good, as good if not better than he has in a few years, I think. And again, he's over 40. I'm really rooting for this guy.
Me too. I think he's a little pissed off that he got 8th at the Olympia. Right. So, you know, and that's not easy for him to take, probably. We just kind of like, oh, Brandon got 8th. Okay, whatever. Talk about everyone else. But we forget that, like, this guy is an OG. He's a former Mr. Olympia champion. And you can't forget this guy. He's won this show before, the Arnold, a couple times. So, to me, I think he's going to be top 5. Who else would place ahead of Brandon? So you have Andrew Jack. You got Derek. We got William Bonac.
You got Hakeem. You got James Hollingshead.
Yeah, I think Hakeem will definitely be in the top 5. I mean, right there, you pretty much you got Samson, Derek, Andrew. We're just it's hard. I think that's going to be your top 5 right there. Now, John Killer. Who knows?
Now, there. So that's good. I'm glad I come back to the list so we can remember who's in the damn show. You got Carlos Thomas Jr. So let's talk a bit about Carlos Thomas Jr. Lots of hype with Carlos going into the show. I'm not really on the hype train for him just yet. I think he's got all potential to get there, but I just I haven't seen many back shots, and that is his weak body part. I think he just needs more refinement still. And you got guys like Bonac and Brandon Curry that are going to bring all the goods. And then he's kind of got the big arms. He's got the quad sweep. He's got the full round muscle bellies. But then what else after that? What do you guys think? I'm talking so much. I want to hear your assessment on this guy.
I met Carlos once, him and his father. His father's awesome.
Yeah.
I met them when I was at the Olympia. The thing with Carlos is he's a very good bodybuilder. Absolutely very good body. Potential is very high. But, you know, we got to go, you know, and say, listen, you know, he competed once. I think it was Texas.
Yeah.
Then there was another show he was getting ready for, and he ran into the stomach thing that he was battling.
Oh, Brazil. He was trying to get ready for Brazil.
I guess the question is, you know, let's see if he makes it to the stage. That's the first question, right?
Yeah.
And then the next thing is his conditioning. I think that his conditioning needs to be as close to spot on as possible to be in that top 6 or 7 placing. That's what I think. His conditioning just got to be where it needs to be. If his conditioning come on point, he's going to give some people some headaches. I think that's really the only thing that lacks with him is just nailing that conditioning. If he nails that, you know, structurally, he has what it takes to win. He could pull out it could be close. If he brings that conditioning, and his back isn't that great, but I think he could. I hate to say it because I love Bonac. He's another one. He gave me a lot of good, positive vibes and stuff in Boston when I competed at that show. But yeah, he could actually knock out Bonac, man. Yeah. That's what I think. If he comes in condition, I think he can knock Bonac out.
Ron, what's yours?
Maybe he's an unproven entity. He's only done the one show, but look, the 2 guys that beat him were Andrew Jack and Hunter Labrada. So we need to see him up there. I've known him since he was an amateur. I love him. I love his dad. Always hang out with them at shows. And my son has ulcerative colitis, so my son kind of looks up to Carlos for that, because if you don't know what people go through with that, it's similar to Crohn's, but it's rough. It's a tough thing to manage. So I'm really pulling for him. I agree with Phil. Condition is what he needs. He's had time to work on that back. I wish I had more back shots, recent back shots to go by. Just like Andrew, I wish I had some shots of Andrew Jack.
Yeah.
He doesn't show his physique leading into a show. But you know what? That's old school. You have to wait until show day to see what they're going to show you.
Yeah. 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 You can see here, like, this is the last show, Texas Pro, where his conditioning actually is pretty good. Like, it's not really a big issue for him, right? And he's got the round muscle bellies with that combination of conditioning is a really good package to bring. And if that back is improved, which it should be, I think he's got a chance to slide into that top 6. I'm not sure top 5, but who knows if Bonac is looking a little, flat or something. There's a shot for him to get in there. But he's got to get by Hakeem Williams, who's been posting a few updates here and there. I guess this is his recent one here.
Yeah, Keem is looking nasty. He's looking really good.
So right now, Phil, you have him in the top 5.
Yeah, I have him in the top 5.
And Ron, where do you have Hakeem?
I have 9 people in my top 5, but he's definitely one of them. I mean, was it last year? He was 5th in Columbus and then 4th in UK, or was it the year before? I get my dates mixed up.
Yeah. I think last year's UK he was.
And he won. What did he win? He won Toronto last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
He looked phenomenal there. I mean, he's really come into his own. For a couple of years, I thought he was starting to slide down, but he's back with a vengeance. He's still got it.
Yeah, he's got the conditioning down pat now. That used to be an issue for him. It's just going to see how he lines up next to Brandon Curry, how that back looks next to Brandon Curry, and William Bonac, who has a crazy back as well, but it's going to be giving up a lot of size to Hakeem. William's been posting pretty recently, pretty consistently with his updates. Is that enough to take out Hakeem? Is that enough to take out Carlos Thomas Jr.? We really don't know. It's going to be a really tough show to call, but I think I'm just going to go with what I know, and that's these veterans that have been doing this a long time versus taking a risk with putting Carlos Thomas Jr. in that top 5. And and who knows how he's going to show up. These guys, at least you have an idea of like how they're going to show up. They've been there, they've done that before.
True.
So, what do you think about Bonac's chances for being in the top 5? No.
Listen, I love and I respect him, but the level of this Arnold's probably one of the toughest Arnolds in a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, this is no easy road for anyone but Samson. You know what I mean? But I mean, Bonac conditioning is so crisp and really well.
Yeah.
It's just him coming full enough with keeping that conditioning, but I think he downsized a little bit, which is okay. I mean, with age, you can't maintain that freaky look he used to have, when he was battling in the Olympia for the top placings. But he looks good. The conditioning, he nails. He fixed his waistline, but it's going to be tough. I don't see it. Anything is possible. I don't see it in the top 5, but just like Carlos, I see him in the top 7. This is still a tough lineup. Now, the only one that's not in this show, I don't know if you guys know, is De La Rosa.
Yeah, he's out. Yeah,
he's out. So Holland's Head, we got to see where he plays. He looks much better as well. It's just going to be very interesting. But top 5, my personal opinion, I don't see it. Nothing against Bonac, but I just don't see it with the level of competition in there. Because you got the giant killer in there too, and he's looking
let's go
crazy impressive. First. Like he's looking like the old giant killer with that full round. It's going to be interesting because he's going to shake some things up. So I don't know. The kid looks ridiculous.
Yeah. Do you have Sean in your top 5, Phil?
Possibility, high possibility, but it's going to be very, very tough to deal with the size and density of these other bodybuilders. He's a shorter athlete. He carries a lot of muscle. He's known for his name. But to be in that top 5, that's going to be very, 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 very tough. But I know he will be in the mix up there.
Ron, what do you think? Sean's chances in the top 5?
I think he can make top 5. I mean, it's the top 3. I think is pretty much locked up right now. Samson, Derek, and I think Andrew Jack is. If Andrew doesn't make 3rd, I'd be very, very surprised.
Yeah,
that's when it starts getting tricky. The battle for the call outs to try to figure out 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th are going to be insane. The judges are going to work these guys to death because it's going to be so close. Sean looks great. I mean, Kinzel did a hell of a job.
Yeah.
That flat, stringy version of him, the depleted version we saw at the Olympia, it only took, was it 2 weeks between that and Prague? 3 weeks?
Yeah. About that 2 weeks or so. Yeah.
So Kinzel seems to have a handle on Sean's physique right away. So and that was what he did in less than a month. I'm very much looking forward to see what he can do with him with a lot more time to get to know his body.
Yeah. I know he's not showing the legs, but the legs are there. We know the legs are there, but it's like, will they match that upper body? Hopefully. But do I have Sean in my top 5? Not as of now. Just too many guys. I'm really thinking that Brandon Kerr is going to shock a lot of people, but we're just going to leave it there for now. James, a lot of people have him in the top 5, and I'm like, I don't know if I got James in the top 5.
I don't know.
I can't see it.
I don't know. I don't think he'll be in the top 5. I love James too. So
great guy.
Don't take offense to it, James.
No. It's that hard of a lineup to be. That's like
it's very tough. It's very tough.
Yeah, you got Mr. Olympia's in there. You got Samson's Olympia, Derek's Olympia, Brandon's Olympia champ. Right? It's no joke if you can't be in that top 5. It's not a diss to that guy at all. It's just that it's a tough lineup. Man. You got the best of the best there. And with James working with Stefan, he should come in better, hopefully, and with better posing and whatnot, and conditioning. And, he's got a good physique. It's not like these genetically superior guys that he's up against that just have the best genetics up there right now. It's hard for him to
How many weeks out was this?
6 days ago.
6 days ago?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I mean, it's the fact that he's so pasty white and hairy, I think, is a little deceiving.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm not. I'm not looking at that. I'm just looking at even if he's, because of course we're drinking tons of water at this point. But when he turned to the side, I would have never did that with the stomach being exposed like that. A lot of people will chop him up for that, but that's the only thing I saw when he turned to the side. His stomach was exposed, sticking out.
Yeah. Yeah, the waistline. He's definitely got to bring that waistline in, or keep it tight. But he's got all the tools. He's got enough size, thickness. He usually comes in good conditioning. It's just a matter of peaking and not looking spilled over or flat like he comes in sometimes. So can he be in the top 6, 7? Yeah, I think he'd be in the top 7 if he nails it.
Yeah.
There, I'll tell you that's what you're talking about right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just gotta control that. But yeah. But yeah, so James, glad to see him doing the show and coming back again to do it. So we'll see. I think he's gonna be top 7, top 8 for sure. I can't see him going much lower than that.
How many guys are in the show total? Is it 12?
Go back here. We got Patrick.
12.
12, right.
And they replaced De La Rosa with last year's Arnold Amateur winner.
Oh, because I know he didn't do it last year when he for some reason he didn't show up. He was supposed to do it. The guy that won the Arnold. Is it the guy that won Arnold the year before, or the one that won it last year?
I don't. His name is Husamaddin Elisawi.
Yeah, because I know one of them was supposed to do it last year. He didn't do it. He was an Arnold winner, and he didn't show up, so he didn't do it.
Okay.
This is the toughest guy, Patrick.
Yeah.
The guy who would win.
Oh, I forgot Patrick Moore. We forgot this one. This guy here.
Got in a gym brawl a couple weeks ago.
That was outside.
And that was outside the gym. But yeah, he did what he needed to do. So good, kudos to him for defending himself and taking care of that business. But to me, seeing this right now, this is 3 days ago. So this is like 2.5, almost 3 weeks out here. Just he got to work on his posing. He's not. I don't know what he's doing here. Maybe he's just playing around or something. But that's not how you put your elbows are too far forward. He's got to arch his back more. But I don't know. He looks a little restricted in his posing. But the skin looks thick on him. It doesn't have that thin, Phil Heathy, Dexter Jackson type skin. It's still thick. And even when he's training, I'm going to show you guys here. Is this a video? like it's thick. It's
Yeah.
not that right. And I'm like, man,
Yeah.
why
You know,
can't?
it's I don't know him personally.
Yeah.
I just know he has a very poor attitude. That's what I
Okay.
do. I competed against him once. I
Yeah.
can't remember what it was. When it was, I think it was like Quentin, Max Charles. It was like I think it was when we were going through the pandemic, because I think it was a show that was supposed to be somewhere, and it was held here in Florida. And
Okay.
we all took pictures
Hmm.
backstage. I think actually Flex Lewis was there, and I think Quentin or somebody posted pictures, and somebody said something to him that why he looked so small compared to Phil Quinton and Max Charles, and
Hmm.
he took offense to it, right? And then he unfollowed me, and I never made the statement. You know what I'm saying? But
Boy.
he just has an attitude. He has an attitude, and when I saw him, I was looking for big things from him earlier this year, and I didn't see it. And then I think he fired. I can't remember the coach he had, and he let him go. And he actually brought him in really, really good condition. And then he did the Legion on his own, and he didn't
Yeah.
do very well there at all either. I don't know who he's working with now, but I don't see from when he was doing very well. Then he took a little break. I don't see it transitioning to him coming in with the necessary size, density, and carry the necessary muscle. I'm not expecting to be super big because he has a killer small waistline. That's just killer. That's one of his best attributes to his physique.
Hmm.
But I just the legs isn't there, and
Yeah.
structurally and density, it's not there. And he doesn't take not doing too well. Not that anybody does, but
Yeah.
I think if he has a better attitude with things, and definitely with coaches instead of firing him right after he does a show and doesn't do well.
Hmm.
But I just don't see it in this show him placing nowhere in the top eight. Yeah, I think he may be in the
Yeah.
bottom. I hate to say it, but I think he's going to be
Yeah.
in the bottom.
Yeah.
Um, but it is what it is. I don't honestly care too much for him, but I don't really
Yeah.
know him. I'm just going by just the attitude that he gave off when I met him several years ago.
Yeah. Ron, what okay. Well, attitude wise, he had me blocked and then he unblocked me. And
Oh,
then he's kind of talking to me like, okay now. So I don't know what I said or what. But see, I can see that now. When Phil was saying that, I was like, oh yeah, he did. He kind of blocked me. Because I was like, he ain't going to place well at the show he was doing last year. I could tell, like, just looking at his progress, he wasn't going to do well. He blocked me after I said that. And now he unblocked me. So he's doing exactly kind of what Phil says. If you don't speak the best about him, he takes a little bit of offense to it and has that kind of attitude where he can't. I see what you're saying now. So, but Ron, what's your assessment of Patrick? He's going to be in the top 8.
I mean, he'll probably block me, but I don't have him in any of the top placings. It's just a tough show.
Yeah,
He needs to fill out. I mean, I was there when he turned pro with Lunsford in 2017, and I remember me and Sean Ray, we were with MD, and we were both off camera saying, once you fill out, get those legs up, and just fill out overall. And
yeah,
I just haven't seen that happen. I had high hopes for him, especially after he did that the first Olympia, I think in 2019, he made top 10.
Yeah,
This guy's going to be good if I just haven't seen much improvement. I know he tore his Achilles tendon. I'm sure that had a
yeah.
big impact, but I just don't see him making the gains to his physique that he needed to make if he's going to. I mean, look at that shot. I mean, he's just going to be outmassed because he's a tall guy with long limbs.
He's
It's a little
posing.
easier for the shorties. It's true.
His posing is just not where a pro should be. He just fits the front double bicep and he's like flex. He doesn't know he can't stay in the pose, and it's just like it's not that good. And I kind of see like a national level competitor still in him and how he presents himself on stage. He's kind of wishy washy. He's looking at himself and like he doesn't. I don't know. So it's just like he's not. I don't know if he takes it serious. I don't want to say that because obviously he's a pro bodybuilder and
yeah,
he's doing these pro shows, so he obviously takes it serious. But sometimes some guys go through the motions and they're genetically gifted and they think right they don't need to put a lot into it. But I don't know. Maybe he's got some things going on in his life, and then he had the injury and everything, so that held him back a little bit. So who knows? We don't know everything and what's going on in someone's life, so that could be hindering him in his progress. So we're gonna see. I don't have him in the top 8. as well. I think judging by his conditioning going into the show so far, it just doesn't seem to be where it needs to be. And especially seeing this in the thickness of the skin in the back and the lower back and stuff like that, as in, he needs to be looking better.
A good posing coach would do him a world of good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his presentation, he would come across better. I mean, he would be presenting his physique so much better, and we wouldn't be picking him apart as badly. You know, I still think potential is there if he just does what he needs to do and makes those improvements. Grimes now they're talking about Regan. Oh boy.
Yeah, I think we're going through all the updates. That was part of the topics too, is Nick and Ring Grimes. So we'll jump into that. I think we talked about everybody. Sean Clarita, James. There's Justin
Rodriguez is the only one we didn't really hit on.
I think he might have me blocked. or no, he doesn't. Does he?
It's
no.
Justin.
Justin's in Arnold too.
Okay, that's not
Justin D IFBB. He's hard to find. There's so many Justins on Instagram. There he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's been posting some updates, so I guess this is a recent one. Okay.
That's too dark.
That could be anybody.
This is 1 week ago, so a little bit over
That's
3 weeks
dark
out.
too.
Still dark, far away.
We have color photography now.
Listen, Justin, going into a show, Justin looks good.
Mm-hmm.
He's another guy that I really like and I really support him. He's a great bodybuilder personality. He's awesome. He's always backed me throughout my career. Once again, I did a show with him in Boston. I think that's when he was looking ridiculous. And that was the first time when they brought it back to Boston, Ron knows. I think that show, he looked ridiculous. But it's just when he shows up on stage, he just looks tired and his body just looks like it needs rest. And every time I think he's going to take a good break, he just pops right back up again, Great family man, awesome dude. It's just, once again, this show is really, really tough. And he's been struggling in the past couple of years, trying to get that itch that he used to have back. Do I think he can do it? Yes, but is it going to happen? I don't know, but we'll see. Like I said, he looks great in his updates picks. It's just I get frustrated and mad because I really like him, and then when I see him step on stage and he's off, it just makes me upset because I know what he's capable of doing. I've seen him do it. I just don't know what is causing the issue when he steps on stage.
Ron, what's your assessment of?
Yeah, I mean, remember at Boston Pro, it was 3 years ago now. He was second place to Bonac. He beat Samson at that show. But this is a downsized version of that. This is not that Justin.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, he looks, I don't know what the actual weight difference is, but this is not that Justin. That Justin I'd be a lot more confident about going into this show.
Yeah. This is 5 weeks out.
I don't know what's going on.
269 here, 5 weeks out. Yeah, Arnold is an invite show.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I don't know what the reasoning is for them to be inviting Justin of all the athletes they could invite to the Arnold. Although I think you have to apply. I think you apply and then they just pick to the list and say, okay, well, this guy. I don't know the process.
Well, you got to look at it. If he's been in Arnold before, which I've seen,
yes,
they're not going to not have him come back. It makes sense. He's been there before. Because the same thing, like when Max Charles was killing it and then he had a little downfall, he still ended up in the Arnold there because he's been in the Arnold every year so far, except for last year and this year. But yeah, I think once you're in the Arnold and you apply, I think they'll have you come back.
Yeah.
The way I understand the Arnold invite process is they invite the very top Olympia guys who they want in the show first. Everyone else has, so those guys don't have to apply. Everybody else has to apply because who was it that applied last year and didn't get in? Oh, it was Martin Fitzwater tried to be in it in 2024, and they denied they said no thanks, we're good. And, obviously he did pretty well that last season. But yeah, I don't think just being in the Arnold but is enough to repeat, but he was very good. I remember the Arnold in, I don't know, it was 2019, 2020. He was third, I believe he was third place.
Yeah.
He
That was back in the day. But
How old is
he
that
hasn't
How old is that New York Pro thing you just scrolled past?
right here.
Yeah, what was that?
Is
Oh, it's a
yeah,
throwback.
no,
Yeah,
it's just
that's
like,
when he
yeah.
was. Yeah,
Yeah.
That looks to me like the year it might have been in Tampa, one of those COVID years.
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
Justin I remember right there.
There's another New York Pro there.
Same
But yeah.
shit.
So we'll see. Again, Justin just doesn't seem like he's going to be able to hold off any of these other guys, and he'll probably be in the lower spots there alongside Patrick, in my opinion, as well. So, but hey, he's got the opportunity to compete. He's taking advantage of it. Get on their own stage and be a part of the whole process there. It's a fun show to compete in, I'm assuming. So, why not do it if you can? And so let's go to Regan Grimes. What do you guys think here? Okay, now I know Regan was talking. Actually, let's go to where he was talking some shit on Nick Walker. Find it there. This is a good page. Check this page out. They're like posting so many updates.
Dude, they post constantly.
It's pretty crazy.
Very hardworking. Whoever's putting that
Yes.
page,
Kudos to you, brother.
they're putting the work in. So
Yeah, I can't find it now, but it's Regan Grimes saying, "Yeah, what show is so? Is Regan and Nick both doing the New York Pro, or is Regan also doing the Pittsburgh Pro, where Nick is competing?"
I think New York is what Regan is doing. I don't know about
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but Nick hasn't announced that he's doing the New York Pro yet.
No, I think he's well.
He's
I
just
would
doing
assume because I think he's going to do a couple shows. I know he's doing Pittsburgh, right? So Pittsburgh's first. Am I correct?
yes,
Yeah.
that's first.
So I'm assuming he would do New York just for the fact that Regan's calling him out. I mean, I would. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think that's. I don't know how serious I could take this. I saw the podcast.
Yeah, where the hell is that now?
Regan could be playing around, just having fun, shooting the crap, but Nick is not somebody you really want to challenge.
No.
Just because whatever situation he may have been going through, Nick is still a dangerous freaking guy. He's a dangerous
100%.
guy, and if you haven't beaten him before, I say just be silent and let your physique talk and see what happens on stage. You know what I mean? So I don't know how serious to take this, but I just know don't feel Nick. That's just my opinion. If you feel Nick, you're only pushing him to train harder and bring in his best package ever. So that might be my personal opinion, a mistake, but it's good for bodybuilding sometimes when you sit back and forth, though.
I like it. Here's him at 327 pounds, getting ready for the New York Pro.
yikes.
I don't have him beating Nick Walker. I just can't see him beating Nick Walker. Yes, his shape is better, but a lot of guys have better shape than Nick Walker, and they still place behind him because Nick Walker brings in that gnarliness, that hardness, that graininess, and the combination of condition and size that these guys just can't bring. And I just don't see how Regan can beat Nick Walker, but Martin Fitzwater came close to beating Nick Walker. Maybe some people had him beating him at the last New York Pro. And Martin's got a more shapely physique than Walker. So maybe Regan could come close, but I just don't think he's there yet. He comes in condition from the back, good, but from the front, he gets thinned out. He doesn't look, his arms aren't the best. And you compare his arms to Nick Walker's arms, it's just not, it's not there. It's not there. Like I was looking at these photos here. Like from the back, it's good. That's good conditioning right there.
Mm-hmm.
But then from the front, it's kind of lanky and it's just not, doesn't look, you know what I'm saying? Like it kind of, he's flattened out or something. I don't know. He's got to learn how to get that right peak. Now he's working with Boss of Outlaw now, so maybe he can fix that issue, coming a lot better and fuller from the front with that conditioning. But I can't see him beating Nick Walker yet. I just think that's not smart to call that out. But hey, he's having fun with it. He's an influencer type bodybuilder, if you want to say it. And he's just having fun with it. But Ron, what do you think? If you had to pick one to win, who would it be?
I'd put all my money on Nick Walker. I mean, Nick Walker was third place at the Olympia. He's an Arnold Classic champ. He's a New York Pro champ. Regan, I think he's won 2 shows. They've both been overseas with not the strongest lineups.
Yeah.
So I'm still not drinking the Regan Kool-Aid quite yet. I want to see him when he does well at a very tough show like the Arnold, or even let's see him win something like the New York Pro. Then we can start talking about him being on Nick's level. But he's not proven.
Exactly.
He's not proven himself to be on Nick Walker's level yet.
No. I think that we squashed that beef right there. Good try, Regan Grimes, but you're not at the level of Nick Walker. Nick Walker has placed third at the Olympia. You've done the Olympia a few times and not been able to get anywhere near that top 5. So what gives you the balls to say, "Hey, I'm going to beat Nick Walker at the New York Pro so easily"? I think he's just having fun with it. Yeah. But you got to have some realistic.
Some WWE shit right there.
So you got to be realistic with it, though, with who you're calling out. Nick Walker, do you think he's making improvements? Do you think these updates you're seeing with him, is he looking improved?
I think he has made improvements.
Okay.
The only concern that I have is the waistline. I think that's a little bit wider than normal. Sorry, Nick, don't get mad at me. But he did. I mean, he looks very thick. He looks very round. I think he's making improvements in the leg category, which everybody said his leg was small. I never really saw it to be that big of a deal, being small. But the sweeps is what I would say he has brought up. Is the sweeps, how everything's run all the way up to his hip, the separation. So his legs definitely got improved. I'm just going to hope, which he always brings his waistline in. I mean, New York Pro, he struggled a little bit. And I think, like he said, Martin didn't beat him at his best. So he will love to see Martin beat him at his best. He couldn't beat him at his worst. So he wants to see him beat him at his best. So long as he keeps that waistline nice and tight with the adjustments he put on, with that side chest looks great. His back shots are great. His most musculars, of course, we all know he dominates with that. So long as he brings that waist in just a little bit, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in whatever show he competes in. I'm happy, too, that he's jumping into that Pittsburgh, because that's going to be a real gnarly show. I mean, that's going to be a whole nother, maybe better than the Arnold. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, Jim Mannion and Tyler, they're making phone calls. So people, and they stepped up the prize money in all these divisions. So this show is going to turn out. I think it's going to be a close version. I don't think Samson would do it, but it's going to be an Olympia preview, I believe, the Pittsburgh Pro. So I expect it to be awesome.
Samson should do that Pittsburgh Pro, though. Like, he could. Why not, though? Right? Like, just
too many damn shows. I mean, his body. I know he can compete often.
He could do.
He's still a human being. He's not.
Yeah.
I think he said he's shutting it down after the Arnold, though. I think he said he wants, just going off season and relax. I think he needs it. If he expects to repeat, I wouldn't run a lot of shows. I would just go for this money, get it, break that. It's going to be $1 million if he does it, wins, right? So get that money, man, and take a break and get yourself together. Go win a second Olympia. So.
Agreed. What do you think about Walker, Ron, going into the Pittsburgh Pro, and has he made improvements?
I mean, he's heavier than he's ever been. I typically see him leaner than that in the off season. I think he did what he needed to do. The quads do look better. The sweeps are much better than they were a couple of years ago. I think he's going in a man on a mission, because he knows he can't withdraw from any more shows. He can't come in off any more shows. All eyes are going to be on him. If he doesn't blow that Pittsburgh show away, he knows people are going to write him off and say, "You're done." Yep. So I think we're going to see the best Nick Walker ever. I hope so. He's a fighter.
Me too. I hope we see the best Nick Walker ever. Everyone wants to see that. Last time we saw him was at the New York Pro. Then he missed the Olympia. Pulled out last minute. Not a good look. But it is what it is. That's in the past. And we're going to see what he can pull together for the Pittsburgh Pro. So you got Nathan Diasha says he's doing it. Martin Fitzwater,
He's doing what? Nathan's doing what?
the
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh, yeah.
Well, he was
If he
supposed to be
gets
doing
here.
Arnold, and he didn't.
No, yeah, he pulled out of that, but he's doing that. Says he's doing the Pittsburgh. We'll see if he can make it here. And then who else is doing it? You got Martin. You got Derek. Said I think he might do it. He might do it. So and is it good Vito is doing it.
Yeah, he looks.
Yeah,
good.
there we go. Yeah, good
He
Vito.
looks good. I
So
think
yeah,
you're gonna see. It's gonna be some more bigger names in this show that
yeah,
we just don't know of yet. But I
yeah,
just think the Pittsburgh is gonna be really mind blowing.
yeah. It's gonna be a good show. We can talk a little bit about Sam Sulek a little bit here before we jump into the next thing here.
Make him your thumbnail if you want to get some views, man.
Yeah.
That's what Dusek does.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know. He's not showing his legs in any of these updates. He's just showing the upper body. What do you guys think of Sam Sulek's physique going into?
What show is he doing?
I don't know. He's
Because
supposed
you
to
have
be
to qualify. You have to place in the top two in a national show to get into the Arnold, which he hasn't done that yet.
no.
So I'm assuming he's probably going to do a show right before the Arnold, and hopefully believe he'll win to get in. Sam Sulek is a cool dude, awesome dude, great personality.
Yeah.
I think he overdied it. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, he looks ready.
With all that muscle he was carrying before, because he wasn't really out of shape. I know he overdied it. I don't think he was eating enough with the amount of cardio he was doing. I think his calories was, I want to say 1,600, 1,500, something like that. So he lost a lot of muscle. Definitely killer conditioning. Really, really well conditioned. But we all know you still got to carry a little bit of muscle. So now he's depleted. So probably if he fills out a little bit. But when you fill out and then you have to cut a little bit of water, it tends to make you'll come in shredded, but you'll still come in a little bit more smaller when you start pulling that water. But I think he overdied it. That's just my opinion from what I see. But he looks good.
Yeah, Ron, what do you think?
Okay, I'll be the asshole. I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got billions of fans and billions of dollars, so he doesn't. So I have to preface that because I think for bodybuilding, for high-level bodybuilding, he's got awful genetics. I'm sure the posing is way off here, but the structure, the shape, that front double bicep was straight up and down, no taper. Chest is kind of weak. I don't know what the legs look like. He's not going to look at that. I mean, that's really if he wasn't Sam Sulek and if that was just Joe Blow, you'd say, he looks good, but as far as we have his fans saying this is a future Mr. Olympia, great this and that. No. I mean, like I said, it doesn't matter. If I say he'd get destroyed with at a really good national level show, whatever. He's all the guys that are going to beat him wish they had his popularity, his money, his contracts, all that. So he's winning. Yeah. I don't think at high level, but once he gets to the national level, he can win a regional show like that. Once he gets to like USA Nationals, Arnold Amateur,
those guys are freaks. The classic physique guys.
Those guys just have better genetics, structure, shape, everything. He doesn't have all. He looks awesome in the gym. He looks great in his videos. And today maybe that's that's more significant than winning a show, a plastic trophy, as they say.
Yeah. He's never done a show. He's never peaked for a show. He's never done the water drop and trying to get that manipulation last minute. So he could look flat as shit on stage and look terrible and be sweating and his sweat like it'd be terrible. So we don't know how he's even going to look on stage, let alone win a show. So can he win a regional show? Yeah, I mean he's pretty jacked and he's a big dude. Considering doesn't look necessarily big in his poses for some reason, but structure wise, weight wise, he's a bigger guy. Can he win the Mr. Olympia? No. Can he get to the Olympia? I don't think so yet. Maybe after 4 or 5 more years of competing and improving his physique, maybe.
I mean, look, we saw most of these Olympia guys coming up as amateurs.
Yeah.
And you can see the potential. It's not like we said, oh, this guy sucks. We would say structure and shape are there. He just needs to fill out. That's typically it. I just don't see that potential in him. And again, who cares? As long as he looks good for Instagram and YouTube, and TikTok and all that, he could take dead last at a show. He's still going to have a billion fans and $1 billion at the end of the day.
Yeah. I don't think he's trying to, I don't think he ever says himself, yeah, I'm going to win this, I'm going to win that. It's just fans that think he's the best in the world or whatever. So it's more so them. So we'll see. He'll do something and see what happens. And if he doesn't do well, he'll just go on doing his recordings in the gym and what he normally does. He'll be fine. So, but do I think he's got the genetics to do well in classic physique? I don't. I think he just maybe do bodybuilding. To be honest, I don't really see the classic thing with him. Doesn't really have that
It's not
raspy
pretty,
waist. It
not a
doesn't have
pretty-
the
classic is supposed to be about aesthetics and a really pretty, nice shape.
yes. He's got the
Yeah.
gnarly. He's got the
mean,
gnarly chest and the,
You know, I don't want to come down on his fans because they will destroy me because they're Gen Z and they're masters of social media. But most of these kids and their kids, because I'm 55 for God's sake, they don't know what they're looking at. They don't know what a great physique in terms of competitive bodybuilding. They don't know the attributes that the judges are looking for. So they look at that and they're like, "Oh my God,
yeah.
he could beat Samson Dauda right now. Look at him." They don't know any better, so they're just ignorant. Ignorant just means you don't know any better. So
Exactly.
God bless them for
Yeah.
bringing people into our industry that probably would never have any interest in it.
Exactly. That's true. He's brought a lot of new people into our industry, a lot of paying dollars, buying the supplements and coming to the shows and all of that stuff. So
And
the
plus, you gotta look at it.
expos.
I mean, at least say, I stepped on stage. I'm not just doing this for fun. I
Yeah.
mean, and I tell a lot of people that too in the gym. I said, set goals. If it's running or powerlifting or whatever, if you know you're great at something in the gym, right? Then
Mhm.
go out and compete, for fun. See how well you do. See if you can reward yourself for that hard work you put in the gym. And he trains his ass off.
Yeah.
He's a very strong kid. So it's only justified that, he says he's going to make an attempt to step on stage and compete.
Yep.
You're right. He didn't say he's going to win no shows. This guy likes
Mhm.
doing stuff for fun. He's enjoying
Yeah.
life, and that's his personality. And if that's the case, then, go out there, do your best, bring your best, and see where the cars fall.
Yeah. Agreed. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he looks on stage and see what happens. I mean, everyone's gonna be watching, so it's gonna be cool to see what happens there with Sam Sulek. I want to talk quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on this. We're gonna wrap this up pretty soon here with the fit model division, and I'm gonna play this little clip here, and then we'll talk about it after that, just so everyone can get context of what's going on with this new fit model division.
Well, I think they had a debut, right? Didn't they have
Yeah.
a couple? Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. I think when it first came out, I know it was taking a lot of heat.
Mhm.
Everybody was going crazy about it and didn't like the idea because I think they thought it was going to go right into the pro ranks and cause the Olympia to be longer.
Yeah.
I am a little bit more positive. When I first heard it, I was kind of, I don't know. But for the fact that they're giving it a test run to see how well it does, so it's just only going to be in the MPC Worldwide standpoint. It's going to give a lot of females the opportunity to step on stage and, don't have to be at the standards of the bikini, because this was originally what bikini was, right? So
Yes.
I think it's definitely a good business opportunity. Bodybuilding is a business, right? So I think business-wise, it makes sense. Like I said, when I first heard about it, when it brought to me in the beginning, I was on board with a lot of people. But the more you look at it and take time to listen how Tyler explained
Mhm.
the criteria and explained it, you gotta first you hear it and you're like, whatever, man, But when you take time to absorb it and then just look at the wider picture, hey, listen, it's going to be in the MPC Worldwide. I know a lot of natural shows have had this division for a long time. I train a natural pro, and she's competed in fit model in her industry and won them all. And a lot of other categories she got in and won. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good opportunity for the young ladies out there that wants to step on stage and don't have to, let's say, push yourself to that other level and still be attractive and still keep that femininity and that nice structured female body. Not saying bikini isn't, but I'm just saying, where they could just bring that natural look on stage. So, I think it's a good business opportunity and a good idea.
Okay, so Phil is an advocate for it and thinks it's a good idea. Ron, what's your assessment
I
on this
think
new division?
it's a good idea for the amateur shows. I have an issue with it being a pro category. That's all. It's bikini light. It's like natural bikini. This is how bikini women looked when bikini first came around 15 years ago. And, we let it get to the point where they're all look, most, if not all of them, look like they're on the holy trinity of Anavar, Clen, and T3. If they had just kept it from getting to that point. So my issue is, why can't it just be an entry level division where eventually maybe they do build a little bit more muscle and get a little leaner, and then they go on to bikini? Because now we're going to have, I'm an old grouchy guy, and I remember Matt Mendenhall couldn't turn pro. Rory Liedelmeyer couldn't turn pro. Edgar Fletcher couldn't turn pro. And these guys they would be on the Olympia stage today looking the way they were. I mean, it's
like, yeah. I'm kind of siding with Ron's kind of perspective on this, because if you want to stay this type of physique where it's not too muscular, it's not super shredded like the bikini girls are now, then just do a natural show. Just stay in the natural lane then. If you don't want to be, I have to get bigger and do bikini, well, then do a natural bikini contest, because this is what they look like in the natural shows, right? But if you want to compete with the big girls in bikini and go to the Mr. Olympia, then don't do it. Don't compete with those. Go down a natural stream. There's a stream there in the natural. Go do it there, right? But don't mix it in with girls that are going to be going to the Olympia and giving someone like this. I'm not discrediting this woman here, but I'm just saying, like, to give her a pro card and go compete at the Olympia, like, it doesn't make sense anymore. It's just too much.
Yeah, but honestly, I agree with both of you guys too. I don't believe it should be in the pro ranks. I'm saying that. I'm not saying it should be, right? But then we can go back and say, well, look at bodybuilding. I mean, pro cards are given out in certain pro shows for second and third place, right? So listen. Agreed. When I went pro, Ron, you were right. It wasn't a Joe Weider, it was a Ben Weider. Because you thought I went pro as master. No, I didn't. I had to win the overall. So I had to win my class, and it was a very tough class. I think we had almost 30-some competitors in that show. Yeah. And then I had to win the overall to get my pro card. So I only had one shot. Now, I did compete in both Masters and Open, but I told my family, I told Patty, if I get my pro card in Masters and do not get it in Open, I will never step back on stage again and try to be an open bodybuilder. I honestly, I don't like master competitors getting a pro card in Masters and jumping in the Open. And I think Ron was on board with that. I don't think, unless genetically, you're a genetic freak and you're able to mix it up with these open competitors. You know what I mean? I know that if I would have got mines at Masters, I'm making it clear, I would have never competed in an open show if I got my pro card as a Masters. I just don't believe that puts me on that stage to be with these incredible athletes. So I went the hard road and I got it in the Open and I won the overall. And that's why within my short period of time, I was very successful in the Open. You know what I mean? So that's, like I said, if we could say it about these young ladies, we could just say it in general about all of bodybuilding. I just think pro cards, and no disrespect, is just given out too easy, where now once you get that pro card, some of them never compete and then some of them do. But if you're not going to be in that in one of the New York Pro, Tampa Pro, and be in that top 10 echelon, and are you really a pro if you can't break? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't want to be an a-hole about it, but I just believe that everybody do deserve an opportunity, but they also should be put in that situation, like you said, keep it an amateur in the NPC worldwide level when it comes to the fit model. But if we could say that about them, we could also say the same thing, like I said, in bodybuilding and classic physique and all that other stuff too.
Well, I was trying to go ahead, Ron.
I just want to say one concern I have is the judges are going to have to really stick to their guns about the criteria, because every new division that came along, there were announcements when women's physique came along. That was like the answer to female bodybuilding getting too extreme.
Right.
And the description of what the category was said no extreme muscularity, no this and that. And we had DLB as our first Olympia women's physique champion. How would DLB looking like that have finished in the last women's physique Olympia? Dead
last place. Yeah.
No, and I totally agree with Ron with that as well.
Yep. Yep.
So what's to say when I'm not going to speak for the judges, they'll kill me. But if I'm looking at 20 women in Fit Model and they're all freaking gorgeous, one of them is a little bit bigger and has a little bit more muscle separation, I'm probably going to pick her. And then the other girls see that and I go, oh, okay, we need to get bigger. We need to get leaner. And then within a year or two, maybe 3 years, they're looking just like bikini and they're going to have to create another division. And then one final point about that, you know, they have 7 women's divisions now, and there's still only 3 for men in the pro ranks. This will be I don't think it's not a pro division this year, but I think it's going to start next year. Fit Model. They're going to have to come up with something for men this entry level because.
Well, they will. I think they will.
Yeah. Fit men. Don't they have a fit? Oh, I guess they don't have the. So this Fit Model is only for women. There's no men's.
So they're going to pick up something where physique was originally smaller. So it's going to be something like that. They're going to bring in possibly for the men.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look at the men's physique guys are freaking jacked.
True. I know. That's what I'm saying. So you look at bikini, they came out with this. So now I'm not saying this is what they do, but it's like they're trying to go back to the original, even though we have the classes there. I don't know the logic. I just know it's a business opportunity. 1, to give more female opportunity. 2, I mean, shit, you know, you're making good money. NPC competitors pay some good money to compete in these shows. So
to me, this is diluting the sport. They don't do this for like basketball. They don't give like a lower you can be the short category basketball players and just give the short people a chance and then get the people that aren't as genetically gifted. Like this is to me, this is what's happening. It's just like Ron was saying, Edgar Fletcher, all these guys that used to be like these freaks and they still wouldn't get their pro card. It was so hard to get a pro card. And now it's been diluted down where they're giving out first place, second place, third place gets a pro card. All these people get pro cards. And it's like it's diluted the sport where it's not that big of a deal. They were talking about this on the Menace podcast. It's not a big deal anymore to get a pro card because that Fit Model girl can get a pro card now.
You know what I mean?
So is it a big deal to get a pro card? What's the big deal now?
It's not. But I mean, you know, the older people out there's probably not many of them watching, and we're all too old to watch. But I remember when it was only men's bodybuilding and women's bodybuilding. That's when I came into the sport. And if you wanted to compete, you either had to get enough muscle mass and definition to stand on a stage like that, or, oh, well, too bad. Not everyone got to compete back then. It was a different era. Now, of course, it's a big business and it's inclusive.
Yeah, I see that.
Have something for everyone, and there's definitely something for everyone because this was the whole idea of this class was, well, what about the women who, you know, they've only been training for a little while and they want to compete? You know, my thought process is, well, why don't they just wait until they're
get better
and then compete?
Don't give them a hand-me-down class. I'm sorry to say it, but it's so they can have fun with that one and get a pro card in that class and then move up. Just get to where you're supposed to be before you turn pro, because it doesn't make any sense to give all these. It's just getting too much. I understand it's a business, they want to make money, but it's kind of embarrassing in my opinion to like be doing this and just making it easier and easier and easier to get a pro card and making these classes less and less and less. It's just have like, you know, bodybuilding, physique, or women's figure, whatever, the top of the top classes where it is extremely hard to get to that level. And that's why you're a champion and that's why you're at the Olympia, because it's that hard, and leave it there. But that's not going to happen. That's here nor there. So we can't really do anything about that. But it is a business. They want to make as much money, have as many pro cards, paying their pro fee every year, putting it into the, I get it.
Yeah, look at the promoters aspect too. I mean, for the promoters, not that, I'm really pushing being an advocate for it, but, the promoters in the aspect, you got to look at it. The NPC is where the promoters make their money. They don't make any money off of technically us open bodybuilders.
No.
You know what I mean? They're giving away money.
They're giving away money, yeah.
So that's what you have to look at on that aspect, on the business part of it is, it's just the promoters, they love it, right? And of course, that's what probably was talked about for quite some time before the decision was made. And
Yeah.
Tyler makes very wise decisions. I'll give him that. And with the prize money and everything's going up, I mean, he's a big part of that as well. So at the end of the day, man, we're going to see how it works out, and how many girls compete. We'll see how well it does, and see if it's going to do that well to the point where they're going to bring it into the pro category. I think it's the ways we have to go to possibly see that. But let it be. Let them do their thing. We're all old school, so we know how it is. But at the end of the day, we're in a different time now, a different age, and it is what it is. I see it in the young kids' sports now. Watching my grandson play, everybody gets an opportunity, no matter how good you are, how awful you are, and everybody gets a trophy.
It's changing. Yeah. Phil, I want to get your take on Cutler. Let's just play this and then get your opinion on what's being said here.
Can't hear it.
I can't hear it.
Can't hear anything. Matt.
So
you got to click on.
Did you hear that
volume thing?
Did you guys hear any of it, or is it not working?
No. Click on that.
I can hear it on my thing.
Oh yeah, we can't.
We can't.
No, you can't.
Just tell us what he said.
He's just saying, if you here, I'm just gonna replay here. Let me just play this again.
You said if you get your pro card as a masters, you shouldn't be allowed to do open shows. I think you should have to only do masters. And I looked at the schedule.
So if you've turned pro as a master, you should stay in the masters.
I completely agree with that.
Okay.
But then again, now I completely agree with that. When I heard him, I remember him saying that. I'm 100%. Like I said, if I went pro as a master, I will not step and wouldn't have stepped. I didn't earn it to be in an open class, right?
Okay.
I fully agree with him. But now you have certain master competitors saying, well, the open guys could come in our division because the Master Olympia, right? Could come in our division and
yes.
You get what I'm saying? So, but it's a tough argument. Getting your pro card to the master coming in the open, that's different. I don't think you should, unless Ron has said this, like you're just a complete freak in the masters, and you may do well. It's what I mean. Yeah. I just believe if you want to do well in the open, get your pro card as an open competitor and do the open. If you get your pro card, and you could hate me all you want, everybody out there, but it's just true. If you're a master competitor and you got your pro card there, I believe you should stay there. If you believe you deserve to stand next to these freaks, which I was gifted and blessed to do, then go pro in the open to say that you rightfully belong with these big boys, these studs, right?
Yeah.
But the only conflict now we have is through the Master Olympia, an open competitor, not everyone, because you can still get an invite. If you write a letter, and you have some accolades, you'll get in. And I'm pretty sure some one or two guys, I'm not going to say no name, is going to probably get in that way from their past years of experience competing, being retired for a long time. Yeah. But we did have a show where open competitor did enter in the Masters, and rightfully so. That's the rules. That's the tough part now, where the master competitors can bitch and say, well, it's not fair for open competitor to come in our class just to make it to the Master Olympia.
Yeah. Ron, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, a pro card there are no different pro cards. There's only one. If you're a pro and you, assuming you can make, if there's weight restrictions like 212 or classic, if you can compete in any category. So, if I turn pro as a men's physique guy, I could enter the New York Pro as an open bodybuilder. Probably wouldn't be a good idea, but I could do it. So there are very, very few masters guys who turn pro as masters who would look like they belonged in an open show. That's why they have a ton of masters pro shows on the schedule now. They're usually held with as like along with the big regional show or something, because realistically, how many guys that are winning masters at the Universe, the North American, whatever, would really look like they belonged on a New York Pro stage or a Tampa Pro stage? I've seen them, and God bless them. These guys, they come in with good amount of muscle. They usually get shredded because a lot of them can afford the best.
They know how to do it now. Yeah, they've
been doing it for a while, but most of them would be very much out of place in an open lineup. But that's on them. If they want to get up there and be fourth, fifth call out, that's on them.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. I really agree with what Phil was saying too. It's just there shouldn't be crossover. You should just stay in your stream, stay in your lane. But then you get these crossovers, and then these open guys are winning the Masters divisions and vice versa. So I don't know. It's messy, but it's kind of a messy sport we're in. There's so many different classes and categories and Masters divisions and everything. So it does get a little messy. But speaking of the Masters, Olympia. Phil, are you 100% now committed to doing the Masters Olympia? Now I see it's in August, Tokyo, Japan.
At this point, right now, yes. I start dieting next month. I'm dieting way earlier. Normally, I diet 16 weeks out. So I'm starting much earlier, just to get in really, the best shape possible, so I could just cruise into the show without having to do tons of cardio. We were able to keep my weight around 282, 284, where normally if I was competing still in the open, I'll get up to about 302. But with my age, as we all know, as you're getting older, trying to walk around, 295, 300 pounds is just not healthy for you. So I was shocked, and Blue was pretty impressed that we were able to stay within the 282, 284 range. So starting prep early, I'm probably going to come in a low, I would say probably a low 250s, 248, something like that, if I'm at 282 now, dieting that long. But, I look back at, when I took fourth, that was my best placing. I think that was, 2020, I want to say. I took fourth to Ian Labrada, and I forgot who was the other person. That was my breakout year. And then the following year, I was battling Ian. And my weight was about, Ron couldn't believe it when I told him, but my weight was about 248.
Yeah.
And I looked like I was 270. So I'm that guy that don't want to get caught up with the scale. I know a lot of pro bodybuilders, if they see themselves fall to low in weight, they believe it's an issue. But honestly, listen to Flex Wheeler. Getting your weight down gives the illusion of you being much bigger on stage, regardless if you're 240, 245, and such. So I'm just happy that I was able to keep my weight down and be able to dig in and bring, very disappointed last year, but, I'm over it. And I know that I'm capable of bringing something superior to my little great days, in 2021 for this Master Olympia. I'm just hoping, the same guys come back. Max Charles, Kamal, the top five, not insulting anybody else that's coming in, but that top five, top six was some good quality competitors in that show. 2 years ago, that Master Olympia was nasty. Everybody came in shape in that open class. Everybody, so we'll see. I'm waiting to see the list at the end of March to see if Kamal. I did talk to him, so he was unsure at that time. That was several months ago. Have not talked to Max Charles, but it'd be great to have us guys come back again. Biggie Smalls, great bodybuilder, and redo this and see, who could win and who could bring their best. So at this point, yes, I'm fully in to get ready, start dieting in March. And I'll just keep you guys in tune as, we start prepping throughout the months and post more pictures. And, I just plan on bringing my best. And I have to bring my best. If I do not bring my best, then I will not step on that stage. So I want to be able to rebound from last year. I have a lot to prove just to myself, not to nobody. I'm battling myself and competing against myself. So we'll see how the cards fall, God willing. But I do plan on bringing the best. I feel good. I play around in the gym. Like, I was posing the other day.
Yeah.
That Phil is going to do well when I'm happy. I feel healthy. I feel young, fooling around and having a great time. As long as I can keep that Phil going, it's going to be very dangerous when I step on stage for anybody who's competing in the Master Olympia.
Right on.
Awesome. Do we have a question? Does Phil still use the Undertaker theme in his posing routine?
What the hell's the Undertaker theme?
I don't know, like the wrestler. The wrestler.
Music from WWE.
Yeah.
No.
No, but man, that's awesome. Good news
but
here. You're doing the
putting together a good posing routine, and it's going to really
it looks
be
like
dedicated to Patty and our life together. It's going to be something more on the slower side, which last time I was working with Melvin Anthony, I think was the last time I actually did something with a killer routine. So I do plan on putting together something really special because this might be my last Master Olympia competing. So I'm definitely dedicating the Patty with the music and put together a routine. So God willing, man, we just stay injury free. And I'm able to just bring the best me for once again for myself and my fans. I got a lot of people that love me and support me. Of course, Ron, you've been old school from day one. Of course, Matt, you already know even before I was somebody, you gave me the opportunity to be on your platform and speak to me. AJ Sims, a lot of people. So it's only right I bounce back from last year and just do my best to bring my best, the very best that I know I'm capable of doing, and just going out with a bang. So we'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's some news here. Phil is doing the Masters Olympia in August, so we'll be watching your journey. I know you're going to post a lot, right? So I want you to post a lot, so hopefully you will, and give us your training and all that stuff. And, it's just going to be a good Masters Olympia. Now, I heard maybe Rolly Winkler. I don't think he's going to.
They interviewed him. Him. Now, Rolly's very humble. He was interviewed on Dennis's channel. And they did ask him about it because they asked, is he coming back to compete? And he was like, right now he's only doing it for fun. He's in a lot of pain at this point training. But he said if he can't bring the old Rolly back, he's not thinking about going on the open stage. And they did ask him about Master because of his age. And he was joking. He was funny. He was like, oh, no, them guys are too good. And Dennis was like, what? But he was dead serious, But it would be a nice shakeup to have I compete against Rolly too. Great guy. Great personality. I hope that this Master Olympia could bring some of I think Tony Freeman's going to jump in it. What I mean? So it'll be very interesting. I think it's going to be some eye-opener shocks for this Master Olympia. And I hope it is because I want this Master Olympia to continue, but I also wanted to keep that quality talent in it for it to continue.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I mean, if, Tony, I don't know if Tony, I've seen Tony's, I don't know if he's been training hard, to be on the level like where you're at and the rest of the guys. I don't know. I know he kind of lost a lot of size, so that'd be very interesting if he does. Wow, it's gonna be great to see him. But I don't know if that's actually gonna happen. But if it does, awesome. Rolly, don't think he's gonna come back. I think he's like you're saying, the injury is probably pretty tough on him, and but he's just being a genetic freak. He's able to put on the mask and come back and just look the way he does. It's just ridiculous. So it's gonna be a good year. Looking forward to it. Do more live shows, and we're leading into the Arnold here coming up in a couple of weeks. It's gonna be an awesome show. I haven't heard anything about the live stream for the Arnold yet, so I don't know what is happening with that.
Yeah,
they leave it till last minute to announce it, I guess, maybe. But they will have one, whether it's free or not. We're gonna find out, so we'll see. But we'll wrap it up there, guys. Man, I appreciate you guys coming on, and it was a good first show back, live show. Make sure to go follow Phil Clahar and Mr. Ron Harris, and go check out Ron's YouTube channel as well.
Ron Harris Muscle
channel, Ron Harris Muscle, and we will be back and do it all again. So, guys, appreciate you for coming on, and we will catch everyone on the next one. All right, guys.
All right, take it easy.
Later, guys.
Peace. See you guys.